Mo Shouting sneered, so you're waiting here. The Luo family sure put in a lot of effort. Good, good. Second brother, you really have a good wife. Mo Cheng obviously knew that Mo Shouting was mocking him, but he didn't think much of it. Was the Luo family doing something wrong? It was obviously a matter of mutual benefit. The matter of the plain brocade could only be blamed on boss and third brother, not the Luo family. You should accompany second elder Zhao for the next few days. I'll think about it again, Mo Shouting said with a dark expression. Father, this shop won't exist after this. You should hurry up and make a decision. Only the Zhao family is interested in that trash Fong Chao, get lost. Mo Shouting angrily threw his teacup at Mo Cheng. Mo Cheng left with a dirty look on his face. Mo Shouting let out a long sigh. His family was so unlucky. How did he end up with such an idiot? Of course, he was also tempted by the Zhao family's offer. But, he had always felt that Yun Chujia's offer would come true. If that was the case, why should he be bullied by the Zhao family? Most importantly, he would be charged with selling his granddaughter. Forget it. Let's see if Fong Chao, that lass, can sell the plain brocade. On the other side, old Madame Lu was asking Luo Shi about the Zhao family. Mother, this is a good marriage that cannot be found even with a lantern in hand. As long as Fong Chao marries her, our Mo family will rise to fame. Said Luo Shi with beaming eyes. Humph. What a nice way to put it. Since it's so good, why don't you let Fong Hua marry her? Old Madame Lu now found Madame Luo quite an eyesore. Madame Luo choked and said awkwardly, Mother, it's not a question of who we want to marry. The Zhao family has specifically asked us to marry Fong Hua. Old Madame Lu scoffed, HMPH. You've pushed it so far. By name? Don't think that I don't know what you've done. I'm not that old. Mother, are you saying that you won't let Fong Hua marry him? Luo Shi asked on purpose. She didn't think that old Madame Lu would give up on the fat in her mouth. It's not up to me to decide. Let's see what master will do. Although old Madame Lu couldn't bear it, it wasn't to the extent of challenging Mo Shouting for Yun Chujia's sake. Luo Shi couldn't help but curl her lips. Mo Fong Chao, do you think it's useful for you to curry favor with these two old fogies? HMPH, when it comes to benefits, you are still the one who has been abandoned. Another 2 days passed and everything was as usual. There was no special news. Mo Shouting was a little uncertain. Could this little girl be bragging? If time ran out and she couldn't do it, then marrying her off would not be a pity. As for the warmth between grandfather and grandson, Mo Shouting naturally did not take it to heart. Nothing was more important than the interests of the Mo family. Mo Fongqin could no longer sit still, big sis, it's already been 4 days. Why hasn't there been any movement? Could it be that He Shi's progress isn't going well? Yun Chujio was calm, don't worry, there won't be a problem. Besides, even if he doesn't succeed, I have a way to sell the plain brocade. What way? Buddha said, you can't tell, Yun Chujio said with a smile. Mo Fongqin was so angry that she was twitching. If she didn't say it, then so be it. The emperor was really not in a hurry. Let's see what she would do in the end. After Mo Fongqin left, Xiao Hanio asked curiously, Master, if He Shi and the others don't succeed, what do you plan to do? Isn't that simple? I have a lot of money. If I really can't do it, I can find someone to buy the plain brocade. Xiao Hanio, Mo. Alright, the black-hearted owner was so poor that she only had money left. Although this move was rough, it was absolutely useful. No wonder she suddenly relaxed these few days. It turned out that she had thought of such a rich method. In the blink of an eye, another 3 days had passed and there was still nothing out of the ordinary. However, the second elder of the Zhao family was getting impatient. So, he directly said that if Mo Xiaoting did not give him an accurate answer, he would have to return home. Mo Xiaoting had no choice but to find an excuse to delay Mo Xiaoting. He promised that he would give Mo Xiaoting an answer after 3 days. Feng Chao, it's not that grandfather is a man of his word. The Zhao family is really pushing you too hard. Grandfather can only give you 3 more days, Mo Xiaoting said helplessly. Yun Chuzhou couldn't help but sneer in her heart. The half a month she had promised was now reduced to 10 days. How cold-blooded. But, of course, she wouldn't say it out loud. Instead, she said obediently, "Grandfather, I understand your difficulties. Don't worry, I will definitely do it within 3 days." Mo Xiaoting saw how tactful Yun Chuzhou was. He felt a little guilty. "Feng Chao, it's good that you don't blame grandfather. Grandfather has promised you that as long as you can resolve the plain brocade issue, grandfather will definitely reject the marriage of the Zhao family." Yun Chuzhou couldn't help but laugh at herself. At least she had managed to get something out of it. That night, He Shi and the others sneakily came to see Yun Chuzhou. "Miss Feng Chao, we have completed the task you asked us to do. Here are the remaining spirit stones." Yun Chuzhou nodded in satisfaction. "Each of you will leave 50,000 spirit stones as a reward." He Shi and the others could not believe their ears. Heavens, this Miss Feng Chao was too generous. She actually rewarded them so much. He Shi and the others declined for a while, but in the end, they still kept the spirit stones. After this incident, Yun Chuzhou's glittering image had taken root in their hearts. After Yun Chuzhou inquired, she let the others go back first, leaving He Shi behind. He Shi saw that Yun Chuzhou only stared at him without saying anything, and he could not help but feel a little scared. "Miss Feng Chao, what are your orders?" "He Shi, what do you think of me?" He Shi was scared silly. Damn, this Miss Feng Chao couldn't have taken a fancy to him, right? He Shi's face flushed red. "Miss Feng Chao, this isn't appropriate. You better stop talking." Yun Chuzhou was stunned at first, and then she laughed out loud. "You're thinking too much. I'm asking you, what do you think of me as your master?" He Shi wished that he could find a hole to hide in. After a long time, he squeezed out a sentence, "Of course you're a good master, you're generous. Then he'll ask you to come over from grandfather, what do you think? You don't have to rush to give me an answer, go back and think about it before you give me an answer. If you stay in the Mo family, at most you'll be able to become a guard commander. But if you follow me, I guarantee that it'll let you see the wider world, and walk to a height that you can't imagine." He Shi felt that his brain was not enough. This wave after wave of impact was too unexpected. "Now, go and find shopkeeper Gua and give him this letter. Ask him to do as he says." Yun Chuzhou took out a written letter and handed it to He Shi. Of course, this letter was written by Mo Fengqin. He Shi nodded and took the letter out of the manor to find shopkeeper Gua. Shopkeeper Gua, who was sleeping, was startled awake again. After reading the letter, he could not fall asleep. Is this Miss Feng Chao sick? What kind of monster is this? Forget it. Anyway, he is the master. Just do as she says. The next day, the entire Fengli city was shocked. Hey, have you heard? The Brocade House has launched a dress called Heaven, Earth, Mountains, Rivers, and Moonlight. A set actually costs 200,000 high-grade spirit stones. It's simply a sky-high price. That's right. Normally, a top-grade dress is only around 150,000. What right does he have to sell it at such an expensive price? Is he crazy about making money? A lot of people quickly gathered at Jinqiu village. They were all here to watch the show, pointing at the heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight skirt hanging on the wall. This heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight skirt style is quite novel. This material seems to be plain brocade, but why are there patterns of different depths on it? Shoo! I heard that this plain brocade seems to be a defective product that has not been dyed evenly. What? Defective product? It's a defective product, but it's still sold at a high price. Isn't this brocade house too much of a scam? Shopkeeper Gua's chubby forehead was covered in sweat. He had rejected this matter in his heart, but Yun Chujia's letter had arranged it this way. Shopkeeper, is your heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight skirt really 200,000%? Someone asked loudly. Shopkeeper Gua thought of Yun Chujia's instructions. He pretended to be arrogant and said, that's right. The heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight skirt is made with complicated workmanship. Each skirt is unique, so the stock is limited. If you want to buy it, you can only pay 10,000 spirit stones to reserve it first. The quantity is limited. First come, first served. What the hell was that? He had to pay to reserve it? Was this shopkeeper Gua's head stuck in the door? It would be strange if someone bought this piece of trash. The news quickly reached the ears of everyone in the Mo residence. Mo Pang and Mo Chang naturally gloated over Yun Chujia's misfortune. They knew that this was Yun Chujia's idea. They thought to themselves, this lass looks smart, but she's actually still young. Isn't she just fooling around? What kind of fool would spend 200,000 spiritual stones on a defective product? Although Mo Chang and Luo Shi did not know that this was Yun Chujia's idea, they still scoffed at it. They thought it was Mo Pang and Mo Chang's idea, so they laughed at it, thinking that it was a joke. After hearing about it, Mo Xiaoting could not help but feel a little disappointed. It seemed that he had overestimated the Fong Chao girl. This idea was simply stupid. Did you think that just because you gave her a big name, she would say that there was a limit to the number of products? Someone would buy it at a high price? How childish. It seemed like he should talk to second elder Zhao about the marriage. The Zhao family's offer was more realistic. Perhaps, with the money from selling talismans, he would be able to open up a path back to the eastern continent. In the blink of an eye, another 2 days passed. The number of people gathered outside the entrance of Jinxiu village was decreasing. They were all laughing at the fact that Jinxiu village and the Mo family were crazy about earning money. Only a fool would buy these tattered clothes. The next day was the deadline Mo Xiaoting had given Yun Chujio. In the morning, Yun Chujio went to Mo Xiaoting's study room as usual to read. Mo Xiaoting couldn't help but sigh. It had to be said that this Fong Chao girl was really calm. Even at this time, she still did not panic. If it wasn't for the fact that the Zhao family was too generous, it would have been nice to nurture this little girl. Mo Xiaoting was deep in thought when he heard Yun Chujio say, "Grandfather, today is the last day. How about you accompany me and Fang Qin for a walk?" In the past, not only would Mo Xiaoting not agree, he would even yell at her. But now, he felt a little guilty, so, he said, all right. Since there's nothing much to do today, I'll bring the two of you out for a walk. Yun Chujio thanked her happily and led Mo Fangqin out of the Mo residence with Mo Xiaoting. "Grandfather, let's go sit down with the welcoming immortal. Let's go have some tea and listen to some music," Yun Chujio said with a smile. Mo Xiaoting did not want to wander the streets, so he agreed without hesitation. The group went to the second floor of the welcoming immortal and drank tea and listened to music. Inca Xian was the largest tea house in Fengli City. It was right across from Jin Zhuang. The guests inside the tea house were surprised to see Mo Xiaoting and his entourage. Why did the Mo family bring two little girls to drink tea with them? They had never seen these two girls before. They must be the young ladies of the Mo family, right? As the crowd looked at Mo Xiaoting, they couldn't help but think of the beautiful dress and started whispering amongst themselves. Although their voices were soft, Mo Xiaoting could still hear them. His expression darkened as he looked through the window at Mianshou Manor. Originally, Mianshou Manor's business was quite good, but after the heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight dress incident, everyone's impression of it changed drastically. Apart from the onlookers, no one came to buy clothes. Shopkeeper Guo had lost a few pounds over the past 2 days, yet he still had to put on a confident front. He almost wanted to die. Mo Shouting looked at the bleak scene in Mianshou Zhuang and couldn't help but feel regretful. It seemed he had overestimated this little girl. After all this trouble, the business of Mianshou Zhuang had been affected. It wasn't worth it. Mo Shouting thought of the 20 million high-grade spirit stones and asked softly, Fang Chao, you didn't spend much spirit stones, right? Grandfather, I've always been frugal. I only spent 10 million, Yun Chujiu said with a smile. Mo Shouting felt a buzzing sound in his head. 10 million was still not enough. It was over. This 10 million must have gone to waste. At this thought, Mo Shouting was no longer in the mood to drink tea. With a cold expression, he said, enough, we've strolled around and drank our tea. Let's go home. Yun Chujiu said with a smile, Grandfather, we've only drank a cup of tea. What's the rush? Let's sit for a while longer. There might be a good show to watch. If they weren't outside, Mo Shouting would have given her a good scolding. So, he could only grit his teeth and remain silent. At this moment, the streets began to bustle with noise. 2 young women walked into Mianshou Zhuang. Most importantly, they were wearing a sky, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight dress. One was aqua blue while the other was light yellow. Both of them were paired with a white cloth. As the 2 of them walked slowly, the mottled patterns on their dresses kept changing, adding a bit of liveliness to their bodies. Sigh, it goes without saying that this heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moon's dress looks pretty good on me. That's right. If it weren't for the price being too high, it wouldn't be too bad to buy a set. After all, this plain brocade is waterproof and fireproof. It won't break even after wearing it for a few years. That's strange. Didn't Mianshou Village say that the heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moon's dress is limited in number and can only be reserved? Why are these 2 ladies wearing it? Where did they buy it? Everyone was extremely curious. They all gathered around the entrance of Mianshou Zhuang, and some people even went inside to watch the show. The girl wearing aqua blue clothes said, I heard that you guys also have heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moon dresses here. How much are you selling them for? Shopkeeper Guo ignored her and said, 200,000 for a set. Pay 10,000 spirit stones first to reserve it. 200,000. Are you sure you said 200,000? The yellow girl said in surprise. Those who were watching the show couldn't help but gloat. These 2 girls must have bought it at a very cheap price. After all, it was a defective product. Let's see how Shopkeeper Guo will deal with it. That's right. It's 200,000. If you think it's too expensive, you can go to another shop and buy it. Shopkeeper Guo said firmly, but his heart was filled with tears. This wasn't the attitude of selling things. Could this be sold? It's not expensive. It's not expensive. 10,000 spirit stones, right? This is 100,000 high-grade spirit stones, I'll order 10 sets. Give me 1 set of all colors. The girl in aqua blue hurriedly said. I'll order 10 sets too. No, I'll order 20 sets, give my cousins 1 set too. The girl in light yellow hurriedly said, as if she was afraid that she wouldn't be able to get it. Shopkeeper Guo didn't say anything for a long time, but the girl in light yellow clothes became a little anxious. Shopkeeper, tell me if you can do this or not. She didn't know that Shopkeeper Guo's heart was turning upside down. Oh God, someone actually came to buy this defective product. 10 sets. Shopkeeper Gua thought of the letter Yun Chujio wrote to him and suppressed the excitement in his heart. With a cold face, he said, the owner has told us that there is a limited number of these heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moon dresses. In order to let more people buy them, everyone is limited to 10 sets. If there are any more, we can't sell them. I'm sorry. The onlookers were stunned. Holy shit. Not only were people buying this shit heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moon dresses, but they were also fucking limited. Was this shopkeeper Gua crazy or were those two girls crazy? Just as everyone was thinking about it, the girl in the light yellow dress was unhappy. Shopkeeper, how can you be like this? Open the door and do business. I can buy as much as I want. Why is there a limited edition dress? Shopkeeper Gua thought to himself, fucking he didn't want to do this. But, this was exactly what the little ancestor had told him. If he didn't do as he was told, he might have to move his head. Mo Xiaoting, who was sitting in the tea house, furrowed his brows. It wasn't easy for someone to come and buy, so why wasn't he selling? This shopkeeper Guo was usually quite smart, but what did he do today? How could he push his business forward? However, where did those two ladies buy the heaven, earth, mountains, and rivers, and moon dresses from? Could it be that someone else also used this plain brocade dyed with flowers to make clothes? Everyone's gaze focused on Shopkeeper Gua. Shopkeeper Gua spread his hands helplessly. Miss, I'm really sorry. This is what the owner told me. Each person can only buy 10 sets of this heaven, earth, mountains, and rivers, and moon dresses at most. If you are not satisfied, you can look at the other dresses in the shop. Those are not limited to purchase. The girl in the light yellow dress curled her lips. I want to buy this heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight dress. I don't like other clothes. We came all the way here. Can't you make an exception? That's right, shopkeeper. We also came all the way here because we heard that you have a heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight dress here. You can make an exception. The girl in the water blue dress echoed. Shopkeeper Gua felt as if he was talking to a dog in his heart. Oh God, after doing business for so many years, he had never encountered such a situation. The customer wanted to buy it, but the shopkeeper refused to sell it. Was he crazy? However, Yun Chujio had told him in advance. He could only grit his teeth and said, ladies, I'm really sorry. Our shop has rules. The heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight skirt is limited to 10 sets per person. If the two of you have any objections, you can go to another shop to have a look. You're so unreasonable. Lan Xiang, let's go. We're not buying from him anymore. The girl in the light yellow dress said angrily. The girl in the water blue dress was a little hesitant. Su Xing, we came all the way here for this heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight dress. Wouldn't it be a joke if we returned empty-handed? Moreover, this 200,000 yuan is too cheap. Let's buy it. But, this shopkeeper is too much. I don't want to buy it anymore. The two young girls began to argue in a low voice, but the spectators managed to catch some crucial information. They came for the heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight skirt. What was so special about this lousy skirt? Wasn't it made from plain brocade with dyed flowers? Could it be that there was another difference? Also, 200,000 is too cheap. From the sound of it, it must be much more expensive elsewhere. How is that possible? Just as the melon-eating masses were feeling suspicious, they heard someone exclaim, look! Those two girls are also wearing heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight dresses. Everyone looked in the direction that person was pointing at, and sure enough, two more girls wearing heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight dresses walked over. One of them was wearing a fiery red dress, while the other was wearing an aqua pink dress. The two young girls in the brocade village also saw it, and the pale yellow young girl's expression changed. Oh no, why are they here? Shopkeeper, 10 sets, then 10 sets. Order 1 set for me in 1 color, hurry up. Shopkeeper Gua had someone collect the spirit stones and give them a certificate, then said, in half a month, the two young girls can have someone bring the certificate over to take the ready-made clothes. The two girls nodded. At this time, the other two girls also walked in. The four of them obviously knew each other. The girl in light yellow clothes curled her lips. I didn't expect you to be so well informed. You followed us as soon as we arrived. The girl in fiery red clothes snorted coldly. Su Xing, this satin shop isn't owned by your family. What's wrong with us coming? Shopkeeper, how much is this heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight skirt? 200,000 upper-grade spirit stones. Shopkeeper Guo was in a state of confusion as to who he was and what he was doing. If he didn't know that this was a genuine defective product, he would have thought that this heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moon dress was some amazing high-grade clothes. 200,000. That's so cheap. Give me 50 sets. I want 50 sets too. The girl in the pink dress hurriedly said. Shopkeeper Gua swallowed his saliva. He finally managed to restrain the primal power in his body. With a stiff face, he said, I'm really sorry. This model of clothes only accepts pre-orders, and each person can only buy 10 sets. If you want to order, please pay 10,000 yuan as a deposit for each set. What? It's fine if you want to order, but you actually want to limit the purchase? Are you out of your mind, old man? The red-dressed girl shouted unhappily. The girl in the light yellow clothes snorted coldly and said, forget it if you don't want to buy it. Someone is begging you. If you don't want to buy it, hurry up and leave. The red-dressed girl glared fiercely at the girl in the light yellow clothes, and then she curled her lips and said, forget it, forget it. I can't come all the way here for nothing. 10 sets is fine. Alright, I'll order 10 sets too. Seriously, I thought I could buy more to give away, but I didn't expect it to be limited. Seriously. The Acupink girl said helplessly. After the four girls left, everyone was as curious as a cat scratching its head. What was the deal with this heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moon dress? Why did the four girls come all the way here to buy it? They even said it was very cheap. What was going on? One of the smart ones shamelessly found the yellow-clothed girl who was strolling on the street. Miss, may I ask why you want to buy the heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moon dress? You don't know. This heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moon dress is not simple. Let alone 200,000, it's 500,000, Su Xing. The girl in aqua blue tugged at the girl in yellow, stopping her from continuing. The girl in yellow stuck out her tongue. I didn't say anything. Just pretend like you didn't hear anything. The girl in yellow wanted to continue, but she was dragged away by the girl in aqua blue. Someone also went to ask the girl in red. The girl in red pouted. If you like it, then buy it. There's no need for so many WHYS. The onlookers immediately imagined a lot of things. Could it be that there was really something special about this dress? Otherwise, why would these four girls come all the way here to buy it? However, everyone was still on the fence. Maybe these four people just liked this style of dress, so they came to buy it. Just as everyone was wondering, more than 10 people came to Mian Xiu Zhuang to order the heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight dress. There were middle-aged women, young girls, and some seemed to be young ladies from big families, some of them seemed to be servant girls or maidservants. There was even a middle-aged man who came to inquire if Shopkeeper Gua had any men's styles. Shopkeeper Gua said with a wooden face, there aren't any men's styles for the time being, but they will be released one after another in the future. The middle-aged man was immediately beaming with joy and immediately handed over the deposit for 10 sets of men's clothing. The onlookers, especially those who were quick-witted, could not sit still and tried to find out what those people had to say. Unfortunately, those people kept their mouths shut. In the end, it was the youngest girl who let the cat out of the bag. You really don't know. I heard that the plain brocade used in this heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moon's dress looks like a defective product of dying flowers, but in fact, it's soaked in a special spirit herb. After wearing it, you can increase the speed at which you absorb spirit chi. What? The spectators lost their composure immediately. This heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moon's dress actually had such an effect. No wonder these people came all the way here to buy it. If it was really like this, not to mention 200,000, even 500,000 wouldn't be expensive. Many people were skeptical. They ran to Jin Xiu Zhuang and asked Shopkeeper Guo, I heard that this heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight skirt increases the speed of absorbing spiritual essence. Is it true? Shopkeeper Guo said with a cold face, I've never heard of anything that increases spiritual essence but not spiritual essence. If you want to buy it, then hurry up. If you don't want to buy it, then look at other styles. Anyway, there is a limited number of heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight skirts, and they will be sold out very soon. People were like that. If Shopkeeper Guo said it in an exaggerated manner, the onlookers might think that he was exaggerating. But, Shopkeeper Guo actually denied it. What was the reason for this? Normally, shouldn't people praise their own products for the sake of sales? Why did Shopkeeper Guo deny it? Someone slapped his thigh and said, I know. This profiteer must want to raise the price. Think about it, when he saw that the sales were so good, and those people even said that other places had already sold for 500,000 high-grade spirit stones, how could he not be tempted? Perhaps the price will rise tomorrow. That makes sense. It must be like that. No, I have to order a few pieces. Otherwise, the price will definitely rise tomorrow, and it might not even be possible to buy them. Where can I find such beautiful and effective clothes? 200,000 is indeed not expensive. I'll order a few pieces too. I'll go too. I reckon that this quantity is definitely not much. If I go too late, I reckon I won't be able to get them. People all had the mentality of following the crowd. With a few people shouting like this, many people who were originally uncertain immediately made up their minds. In addition, once they heard that they might not be able to buy it, the heaven, earth, mountains, and rivers, and moonlight dresses instantly became lofty in their hearts and swarmed toward the brocade house. Shopkeeper Guo was so scared that he was dumbfounded. Oh God, are these people crazy? Shopkeeper Guo recalled the letter Yun Chujio gave him and said loudly, everyone, listen to me. The heaven, earth, mountains, and rivers, and moonlight dresses use a limited amount of plain brocade, so the number of ready-made clothes is also limited. Hearing Shopkeeper Guo's words, everyone immediately became anxious. Shopkeeper Guo, what do you mean? Do you not want to sell it to us or do you want to raise the price? You have already sold the foreigner, why don't you sell it to us? Shopkeeper Guo shook his head. It's not that I don't want to sell it to everyone. I'm just afraid that everyone will act on impulse. After all, this 200,000 is not a small amount. Don't give us the deposit and then go back on your words. The deposit is not refundable. Shopkeeper Guo, look at what you said. We are already so old, how can we go back on our words? Just sell it to us. That's right. We are willing to buy it, why are you talking so much nonsense? Hurry up and collect the money. Stop wasting time. If you don't sell it to us, you are trying to raise the price. Shopkeeper Guo smiled bitterly. I am afraid that you will buy it and say that it will not increase the speed of absorbing the spiritual essence or something. I never said that the clothes have that effect. Don't frame me when the time comes. If it doesn't have that effect, then it doesn't. We didn't buy it because of that effect. The dress is just for wearing. Hurry up. That's right. We won't regret it if we buy it. You'd better get someone to make the dress quickly. We are still waiting to wear it. Shopkeeper Gua secretly closed the recording stone. Only then did he let the workers maintain order and began to collect the deposit in an orderly manner. Shopkeeper Gua saw that the line was almost at the end of the street. The admiration in his heart for Yun Chujio was like a torrential river. Miss Fangcao was really a god. The development of this matter was almost exactly the same as what was written in the letter. Could she have predicted it? It was really too unbelievable. Shopkeeper Guo roughly calculated. My goodness, after this batch of defective goods was sold, it would be a huge profit. The price of this batch of cloth was 500 million high-grade spirit stones. If this ready-made garment was sold, it would cost more than 2 billion high-grade spirit stones. There was another person who was even more dumbfounded than Shopkeeper Guo. It was Imo Xiaoting from the tea house. The tea house was very close to Jin Xiuzhuang and the windows were open, so he could hear everything clearly. Increase the speed of absorbing spirit energy. How was this possible? Wasn't this just a batch of defective goods? Imo Xiaoting felt that if he wasn't in the know, he would have followed the trend and bought a few pieces. After all, he couldn't find any flaws in this whole thing. Grandfather, we've finished drinking the tea. Let's go back to the mansion. Yun Chujio said with a smile. The results were even better than expected. It could only be said that the people of the immortal Yuan continent still didn't know how to play the game. A few simple tricks and hunger marketing were all done. It wasn't challenging at all. Mo Fangqin, who was standing beside her, had a rough idea of what was going on, but she was still shocked by what she saw. It had to be said that although the bumpkin's method was a little damaged, the results were great. Mo Xiaoting was, after all, someone who had seen the world. Although he was shocked, his expression quickly returned to normal. Let's go back to the mansion. Yun Chujio pursed her lips. Old fox, why are you pretending to be calm? You are the head of the Mo family, what is the meaning of this? After walking for a while, Mo Xiaoting finally returned to normal. However, he was filled with questions and couldn't wait to fly over to the Mo residence to ask Yun Chujio what was going on. Finally, the group returned to the Mo residence. After entering the study room, Mo Xiaoting was just about to ask Yun Chujio what was going on when Mo Peng and Mo Chang ran over excitedly. Father! Father! Please tell shopkeeper Gua to stop selling the heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moon dresses. It turns out, we are getting a blessing in disguise. The plain brocade was not a defective product. It was soaked in a special spiritual herb. After wearing it, it could increase the speed at which it absorbed spiritual energy. How could such a good item be sold for only 200,000 yuan? At least 500,000 yuan. Mo Chang said excitedly. Mo Peng, who was at the side, also chimed in proudly, Father, this is really a blessing in disguise. Not only will we not suffer a loss, but we will also make a huge profit. You won't be angry this time, right? That's right. Second brother still wants to ask the Luo family for help. Bah! Our Mo family is blessed by the heavens. We even need the help that the Luo family owes our son. Mo Chang said with a beaming expression. Yun Chujio couldn't hold back her laughter. Where did these two people get their confidence from? Blessed by the heavens? Blessed my ass. If it wasn't for me, you guys would have lost everything. Mo Xiaoting's face turned red. He wanted to kill these two idiots. Get out. Get out. Keep your mouths shut. If I hear any of your nonsense, I won't forgive you. Mo Peng and Mo Chang were completely confused. This was such a good thing, why was their father scolding them? I'm warning you too, you are not to interfere in the plain brocade business. If I find out that you have done anything or said anything wrong, I will take back all your shops. Do you hear me? Mo Xiaoting was extremely disappointed in his two sons, they were completely stupid. Although Mo Peng and Mo Chang still did not quite understand, they did not dare to disobey Mo Xiaoting's orders and retreated with their heads lowered. Mo Xiaoting slammed the table angrily, stupid. Stupid. How could I, Mo Xiaoting, have such a stupid son? Yun Chujiu cursed in her heart. The reason was simple, you've done too many immoral things. Mo Xiaoting took a deep breath and asked, Fang Chao, tell grandfather what's going on. Grandfather, it's actually very simple. I've only used two methods. One is to buy clothes and the other is to limit purchases. Yun Chujiu did not mention hunger marketing. She was afraid that Mo Xiaoting wouldn't understand, so she changed to limit purchases. Mo Xiaoting furrowed his brows and thought for a moment before he suddenly realized, you arranged for those women and those people to buy clothes? Yun Chujiu giggled, that's right, not only them, but also those who were causing a ruckus in the crowd and adding fuel to the fire. I asked He Shi and the others to hire them. Mo Xiaoting's eyes twitched. This little girl was really mean. She actually thought of such a method. If he didn't know, even he would have believed her. Then, why did they limit their purchases? Wouldn't the more they buy, the better? Mo Xiaoting asked in confusion. Grandfather, this restriction is to stimulate people's desire to buy. The less they can get, the better. This restriction has created the illusion that demand exceeds supply. The more it is like this, the more people will fight over it. Let me tell you, there might be more people lining up to buy tonight. There might even be people from other cities coming over to buy, Yun Chujiu said confidently. Mo Xiaoting had never heard of such a sales strategy. The more he thought about it, the more he felt it made sense, but, he suddenly thought of a crucial question, Fang Chao, what you said makes sense. But, the heaven, earth, mountains, rivers, and moonlight dress doesn't have any effect on absorbing spiritual energy. What if those people come and cause a ruckus? Yun Chujiu smiled brightly. Grandfather, don't worry. I have already thought about this. Firstly, I will let the child spread the public opinion. I will say that ever since I put on the heaven, earth, mountains, and rivers, and the moon dress, the speed of absorbing spiritual energy has increased. Everyone loves their face. If others have increased their speed, how can they say that they have not increased their speed? Secondly, if there are still people who go and cause a ruckus, I will let shopkeeper Guo play the recording stone. Shopkeeper Guo has clearly told them that this dress does not have the effect of increasing the speed of absorbing spiritual energy. If they cause a ruckus, it will be unreasonable. Mo Xiaoting did not say a word after hearing Yun Chujiu's words. He was completely shocked by Yun Chujiu's methods. This little girl was a business genius. How did she come up with these methods? They were simply too ingenious. Most importantly, they were flawless. Even if people noticed something was wrong, they wouldn't dare to cause trouble. Mo Xiaoting did a rough calculation and was shocked by the profit he could make. 5 billion high-grade spirit stones. Oh God, this little girl had sold those defective goods at a sky-high price. Even the talisman business wasn't this profitable. Just as Mo Xiaoting was about to praise Yun Chujiu, Mo Qing arrived. Dad, I heard that the plain brocade was sold at a high price. I told you my brother-in-law wouldn't cheat our Mo family. Although Mo Qing felt it was a pity that this matter couldn't suppress Mo Peng and Mo Chang, it was still a good thing that the Luo family had been cleaned up. Yun Chujiu looked at Mo Xiaoting with sympathy. How did such a smart old fox give birth to 3 idiots? Could it be old Madame Liu's genes? Mo Xiaoting's face was indeed red with anger. Shut up. Get out. Mo Cheng was completely dumbfounded by the scolding. He then said, Dad, let's not talk about the plain brocade for now. Second Elder Zhao said that today is the last day. If you don't give him a definite answer, he will leave for Jianfeng City. Tell him to wait in the living room. I will tell him the result. Mo Xiaoting felt disdain in his heart. Did he really take himself seriously? Wasn't it just a matter of controlling the supply of talismans? If worst came to worst, the Mo family would no longer deal in talismans. With Feng Chao as a money tree, who would be bullied by the Zhao family? Mo Cheng did not know what Mo Xiaoting was thinking. He thought Mo Xiaoting was going to agree to Yun Chujia's marriage. He glanced at Yun Chujio proudly before leaving in a hurry. Feng Chao, don't worry. Grandfather will not agree to the Zhao family's marriage. In the future, grandfather will help you find a suitable family and marry you, Mo Xiaoting said with a smile. Yun Chujio cursed in her heart. The old fox was probably thinking that it would be best if she never married. Grandfather, I will follow you to take a look, Yun Chujio said because she was afraid that the Zhao family would come up with another bargaining chip to prevent Mo Xiaoting from changing his mind. Mo Xiaoting now found Yun Chujio extremely pleasing to the eye, so he agreed without hesitation. When Mo Xiaoting brought Yun Chujio into the living room, Mo Cheng was talking to Second Elder Zhao with a fawning expression. Mo Cheng saw that Mo Xiaoting had brought Yun Chujio with him, so he was even more certain that Mo Xiaoting had agreed to marry Yun Chujio. Otherwise, he wouldn't have brought her here. Second Elder Zhao, this is my eldest daughter, Mo Fengchao. Don't you think she has an outstanding appearance? Mo Cheng asked in a flattering manner. Yun Chujio curled her lips. If others didn't know, they would think that he was a pimp. How shameless. Mo Xiaoting was furious. Second Elder, shut up. Mo Cheng was so angry that he shrunk his neck and sat back in his seat without saying a word. Second Elder Zhao sized up Yun Chujio. Her looks were not bad, but it was a pity that looks were useless. It was mainly because of her identity as a member of the Yi family. Master Mo, it seems like you've made up your mind. Since that's the case, let's set a date. The 8th day of next month will be the auspicious day. Why don't we set it on that day? Second Elder Zhao said arrogantly. He thought to himself, after considering for so many days, didn't he still agree? Mahist cannot resist their Zhao family put forward the conditions. Mo Xiaoting glanced at him and said coldly, I'm afraid Second Elder Zhao has misunderstood. The Mo family doesn't agree to this marriage. Feng Chao has just returned to the Mo family. We can't bear to let her get married so early. What? Second Elder Zhao and Mo Cheng were stunned. Mo Xiaoting didn't agree to this marriage. Was he stupid? How could he not want such a big piece of meat? Father, what? What did you say? How could you not agree to such a good marriage? Mo Cheng asked in disbelief as he stood up. How dare you? Do you have the final say or do I have the final say? This marriage is not going to happen. Mo Xiaoting shouted angrily. Second Elder Zhao's face turned ashen. Good, very good. Family head Mo is really stubborn. If that's the case, from now on, the Zhao family will not sell even a single talisman to the Mo family. Mo Cheng heard this and his hands immediately went numb. Second Elder Zhao, please go back to the guest house and calm down. I will try to persuade my father. Don't worry, I will definitely convince him. He must not have thought things through yet. Although Second Elder Zhao was furious, he did not want to return in defeat. He held back his anger and left. Father, I have something to tell you. Please ask everyone else to leave, Mo Cheng said to Mo Xiaoting as he glared at Yun Chujio. Seeing Mo Cheng's serious expression, Mo shouting gently said to Yun Chujio, "Fang Chao, you should go back first. Don't worry, grandfather will not agree to this marriage." Yun Chujio nodded and hopped off. The man was confused. Mo Cheng seemed to be well prepared. What exactly did he want to say to the old fox? The next morning, Yun Chujio and Mo Fangqin arrived at Mo Xiaoting's study room. Yun Chujio's heart sank. Mo Xiaoting's expression turned cold and distant. What did Mo Cheng say to change the old fox's attitude? "Fangqin, you can go back now. You don't have to come to the study room anymore," Mo Xiaoting said with a cold expression. Although Mo Fangqin was confused, she did not dare to say anything else. She gave Yun Chujio a look of self-hope and retreated. Mo Xiaoting glanced at Yun Chujio, he sighed, "Fangqin, grandfather is going back on his word. It's not that grandfather doesn't keep his word, but the Zhao family has said something ruthless. If I don't marry you, not only will they not provide us with talismans, they will also cut off our supplies of satin and pills. If that's the case, the Mo family will collapse. So, you should marry them." Yun Chujio's heart sank. As expected, something unexpected had happened. However, she did not believe Mo Xiaoting's reason. Although the Zhao family could control the talisman business, they did not have the ability to control the other families. Moreover, the Mo family still had a backup plan, and that was the Mo family from the East Continent. Unless the Zhao family was provoked, they would not be so ruthless. Mo Xiaoting's sudden change of mind must have something to do with what Mo Cheng said. What exactly did he say? Although Xiao He had dug holes in Mo Cheng's study room and bedroom, he did not hear what Mo Cheng had said. He only heard Mo Cheng and Luo Shi say that he was confident that he could convince Mo Xiaoting. Yun Chujio knew that begging was useless. The only thing that could change Mo Xiaoting's mind was enough benefits. He had to be so greedy that he did not care about what Mo Cheng said. "Grandfather, I understand what you're saying. But, this news is too sudden. Can you give me a day to recover? If you listen to me and decide to let me marry you tomorrow morning, I will obediently follow your arrangements," Yun Chujio said pitifully. Mo Xiaoting saw the pitiful expression on Yun Chujio's face and the last bit of conscience in his heart woke up. He sighed, "Fine, I'll give you one day. But, don't think about running away. With your weak spiritual power, leaving the Mo family is just asking for death. Grandfather, I'm not stupid. How could I run away? You can continue with your work, I'll take my leave now." "Okay, let's go back." Mo Xiaoting couldn't help but sigh in his heart. It was rare to see such a calm personality. Unfortunately, he couldn't keep this little girl. As soon as Yun Chujio heard he Xian, Mo Fangqin ran over, "Big sis, what did grandfather say to you? Did he agree to let you marry him again?" Yun Chujio nodded, "That's right. Grandfather has changed his mind." "How can this be? This is too much. Elder sister, what should we do now? Are you really going to marry him? There must be something wrong with this marriage. If not, the Luo clan would have let Mo Fanghua marry him." Mo Fangqin said angrily. "Don't be anxious. I've bought grandfather a day. I'll think of a way." Yun Chujio said calmly. "Elder sister, I really admire you. Even at this moment, you are still so calm. Panicking won't solve the problem. Go back first, I'll think about it." Mo Fangqin had no choice but to walk out. The worry in her heart was no less than Yun Chujio's. On one hand, she was worried about Yun Chujio's safety. After all, they had already formed a friendship after spending so much time together. On the other hand, she was worried about her and Auntie Chio's safety. Once Yun Chujio married out, the Luo clan would definitely settle the score with Auntie Chio. They would definitely be further tormented by her and Auntie Chio. Yun Chujio sat in front of her desk, her chin resting on her hand as she tried to think of a solution. The plain brocade had earned 1.5 billion, yet it was not enough to change his mind. This meant that the matter Mo Cheng was talking about must be very important. What exactly did he say? Yun Chujia's head hurt as she thought about it. She could not figure out what Mo Cheng was talking about. Forget it. No matter what he said, Mo Xiaoting's eyes were only focused on benefits. As long as the benefits were big enough, no matter what Mo Cheng said, he would definitely change his mind. Otherwise, he could just tell the old fox that she knew how to create talismans. No. This method could not be used unless it was absolutely necessary. The side effects were too great. But, if he didn't use this method, how could he change Mo Xiaoting's mind? Yun Chuzhou had been racking her brains. She did not even have lunch. Mo Fangqin was also worried. Seeing that Yun Chuzhou did not eat, she did not eat either. Big sister, you have already earned 1.5 billion for grandfather, and he still wants to marry you off. How can he be so greedy? Could it be that he wants you to earn 15 billion for him before he is satisfied? Mo Fangqin said angrily. Yun Chuzhou had a flash of inspiration in her mind. She hugged Mo Fangqin and said happily, "Third sister, what you said makes sense. If 1.5 billion doesn't work, we will earn 15 billion for him. If 15 billion doesn't work, we will earn 150 billion for him." Mo Fangqin was scared silly. Big sister, are you alright? What nonsense are you talking about? I'm not talking nonsense, what you said makes sense. As long as I can make enough money for grandfather, he won't marry me off. The reason why he changed his mind was that this 1.5 billion was not enough to move him. I'm going to write a plan now, a plan that can make countless 1.5 billion, Yun Chuzhou said confidently. Mo Fangqin only had one thought in her mind. The country bumpkin had gone crazy. Mo Fangqin cursed silently in her heart. This country bumpkin was simply daydreaming. Although she was quite smart, there were some tricks that worked this time but wouldn't work the next time. Not to mention the countless 1.5 billion, even earning another 1.5 billion was unlikely. Third sister, come, I'll read you to write. Let's draw a grand blueprint of the Mo family's development for grandfather, Yun Chuzhou said excitedly. Mo Fangqin cursed in her heart. I think you're drawing a big cake. Can this work? However, Mo Fangqin quickly changed her mind. The expression on her face changed from indifference to excitement. In the end, her hands began to tremble. Third sister, if you continue to tremble, this word will become an earthworm. Yun Chuzhou said with a laugh. Big sister, why are there so many strange ideas in your head? Mo Fangqin felt that the country bumpkin was simply not human. How did these ideas come out? Yun Chuzhou smiled smugly. Che. What's the big deal? I can write 100 copies of such a plan without duplicating it. This fellow cursed in his heart. This kind of promotion method like buy one, get one free, or membership card was definitely the only one in the Immortal Essence continent. He was not afraid that the old fox would not be tempted. Yun Chuzhou and Mo Fangqin modified and finally completed the plan. Third sister, what do you think? Do you think this plan will satisfy grandfather? Big sister, grandfather should be satisfied. However, aren't you afraid that grandfather will kill the donkey? Your plan is very detailed. Grandfather can also let others handle it. Mo Fangqin said worriedly. Third sister, don't worry. Grandfather is greedy. He will not satisfy this plan. I am like that money tree. Grandfather is reluctant to cut it down. Mo Fangqin thought about it and felt that what Yun Chuzhou said made sense. Who would kill a golden egg-laying chicken? The next morning, Yun Chuzhou hopped over to see Mo Xiaoting. To her surprise, Mo Cheng was also there. The reason why Mo Cheng had come so early was because of Luo Shi's idea, "Husband, that girl Feng Chao is full of schemes. You should go and keep an eye on her. Don't let father be fooled by her again." Mo Cheng felt that what Luo Shi said made sense, so he came early to keep watch. Mo Xiaoting naturally knew what he was planning. However, ever since he heard Mo Cheng's words, he had already made up his mind to let Yun Chujiu marry him, so he did not say anything about Mo Cheng's actions. "Greetings, grandfather and father," Yun Chujiu greeted the two with a smile. Mo Cheng noticed the smile on Yun Chujiu's face and felt it was an eyesore. He scoffed, "You're about to get married, yet you still can't walk properly. Who would be interested in a daughter-in-law like you? Wouldn't it be better if you weren't interested? I happen to be staying with my grandmother and grandfather for the rest of my life." Yun Chujiu's smile grew brighter. "Humph. In your dreams. Whether you marry or not, you still have to marry," Mo Cheng said angrily. Yun Chujiu ignored him and said to Mo Xiaoting, "Grandfather, I wrote something for you yesterday after I got back." Mo Xiaoting nodded. He took the few pages from Yun Chujiu and began to read them casually. Mo Xiaoting frowned slightly when he saw the title, "Mo Family's Business Development Plan." This little girl's tone was really arrogant. Mo Cheng stretched his neck and saw the title as well. He pursed his lips, "Business Development Plan? Aren't you afraid that the wind will fan your tongue? Dad, don't waste your time. What useful things can she write?" Mo Xiaoting did not think much of it, but he continued to read patiently. Mo Cheng noticed that Mo Xiaoting was ignoring him, so he turned to look at Yun Chujiu. Never in his wildest dreams did he expect Yun Chujiu to wink at him. It was obvious that she was mocking him. Mo Cheng's mind went blank for a moment, then he flew into a rage out of humiliation. "Unfilial daughter! You bastard! How dare you disrespect me? I'm going to teach you a lesson." "Father, what are you talking about? How can you accuse me?" "Grandfather, help! My father is going to beat me to death!" Yun Chujiu yelled. Mo Xiaoting was engrossed in the scene when he heard the argument between the two men. He looked up and saw Mo Cheng rolling up his sleeves as he tried to hit Yun Chujiu. He couldn't help but slap the table. "Second brother. Do you think nothing of me? Stop." Mo Cheng was so angry that his face turned red. "Father, you have no idea. This unfilial daughter just winked at me. She is disobedient and unfilial. Shut up. If you continue to spout nonsense, get out." Mo Xiaoting said impatiently. He was anxious to read the rest of the content. Besides, he did not believe that Yun Chujiu would be bold enough to provoke Mo Cheng. Hearing Mo Xiaoting's words, Mo Cheng had no choice but to suppress his anger and not pursue the matter any further. Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes. With her back facing Mo Xiaoting, she winked at Mo Cheng and said, "Hit me. Unfilial daughter. You're courting death." Mo Cheng was already filled with anger, how could he hold it in? "Grandfather. Help. Has my father gone crazy?" Yun Chujiu ran to Mo Xiaoting's side, screaming for help. Mo Xiaoting looked up and saw Mo Cheng rushing over with gritted teeth. He picked up his teacup and threw it at Mo Cheng. "Get lost. You useless thing. Father, it was this wretched girl who provoked me. Don't look at her rubbish. Hurry up and set a date and marry this troublemaker." Mo Cheng was about to go crazy. "Get out. We can talk about the marriage later." Mo Xiaoting's mind was focused on the few pieces of paper in his hands. He had no time to deal with Mo Cheng. Seeing that Mo Xiaoting had lost his temper, Mo Cheng had no choice but to leave unwillingly. He hated his unfilial daughter in his heart. "Just you wait, shall make you suffer." Yun Chujiu was pleased. "Little brat, can't I anger you to death? The reason why Yun Chuzhou deliberately provoked Mo Cheng was to get rid of him. Otherwise, when she and Mo Xiaoting were discussing serious matters later, Mo Cheng might ruin everything. After a while, Mo Xiaoting carefully put down the few pages of paper in his hands. In his eyes, these few pages were countless spirit stones, they were the Mo family's bright future. Feng Chao, did you write all these? Mo Xiaoting tried his best to remain calm, but his voice was still a little shaky. Grandfather, I came up with most of these. Some of them were perfected by third sister. Apart from that, I have some immature ideas and plans. I will tell you after I have perfected them. The reason Yun Chuzhou mentioned Mo Fangqin was to help Mo Fangqin brush her face. This way, it would be beneficial to her future plans. As for the last sentence, the meaning was obvious: if you let me get married, then you can forget about your future plans. Mo Xiaoting nodded his head. He was conflicted and conflicted. If it wasn't for Mo Cheng's words yesterday, he would not have hesitated to keep Yun Chuzhou. But, if that incident were to be leaked, how would things end? Yun Chuzhou did not rush him. She knew that Mo Xiaoting would definitely give up on the Zhao family's marriage. The reason was simple. No one wanted to be controlled by others. Moreover, the Zhao family's promises were still to be tested. They might break the contract in a few years, so the Mo family had no choice. However, it was different if Yun Chuzhou was left behind. Yun Chuzhou was just a little girl, so she could not compete with the Mo family. The Mo family had always held the initiative. Finally, Mo Xiaoting let out a long sigh and said, Feng Chao, if grandfather married you to the Zhao family, would you hate him? Grandfather, I understand your difficulties. I don't hate anyone. If you want to blame someone, then blame me for not having enough power to help the Mo family. Yun Chuzhou said calmly. In reality, she was already cursing Mo Xiaoting in her heart. Fuck, being a bitch and setting up a memorial tablet was referring to people like you. Shameless. Mo Xiaoting nodded his head in satisfaction, then, he laughed, Feng Chao, everything grandfather has done, including marrying you to the Zhao family, was a test for you. Grandfather was very satisfied with your performance. Don't worry, how could he not care about your wishes and marry you to the Zhao family? Grandfather. I knew you were the best to me. Sob sob, am so touched. Yun Chuzhou's eyes turned red as she said gratefully. In reality, she was cursing him in her heart. Pooey. You shameless old man. Aren't you ashamed of yourself for saying this? Isn't it just acting? Let's see which one of us has the best acting skills. The two acting types continued to act for a while before Mo Xiaoting finally said, Feng Chao, you can go back first. I'll go and get rid of the Zhao family. Thank you, grandfather. That second elder Zhao has a high and mighty tone. Just looking at him is disgusting. You don't have to give him face. In the future, the Mo family will definitely trample the Zhao family under our feet. The reason why Yun Chuzhou said this was to sow discord. When Mo Xiaoting saw the arrogant look on second elder Zhao's face, he would definitely be even more displeased. Yun Chuzhou left the study room. As soon as she arrived at the door, she saw Mo Cheng waiting for her. Mo Cheng glared at Yun Chuzhou and walked into the courtyard with a cold snort. Yun Chuzhou pursed her lips. The old fox had already made up his mind. There was no point for Mo Cheng to say anything else. Mo Cheng saw Mo Xiaoting and quickly said, Father, that bitch is full of evil intentions. Don't fall for her tricks. Second elder Zhao is still waiting for you. Let's hurry up and set a date. Feng Chao is a business genius that only appears once every 10,000 years. She can bring much more value than the Zhao family. I will not agree to the Zhao family's marriage. Don't mention it again. Dad? What are you talking about? That unfilial daughter is a business genius? How is that possible? Mo Cheng looked at Mo Xiaoting in disbelief. Humph. She is 10,000 times stronger than the three of you. This matter is settled. Also, the things you told me yesterday, I want you to keep them in your stomach. Dad, what? What do you mean? I will focus on nurturing the grass. From now on, she is the same as the three of you. She has the right to inherit the Mo family. So, if you dare to reveal what you said yesterday, don't blame me for being merciless. Mo Cheng was shocked by Mo Xiaoting's cold gaze. Although he wasn't convinced, he didn't dare to say anything else. He hated Yun Chuzhou to death. It was all because of this rebellious daughter. She was truly a disaster. Mo Xiaoting asked someone to invite Second Elder Zhao to the living room. However, Second Elder Zhao was still acting high and mighty. Second Elder Zhao, after careful consideration, the Mo family still can't bear to let the grass grow on our side get married so early. So, we won't be trying to climb up the social ladder. Mo Xiaoting did not want to offend the Zhao family, so he spoke in a polite tone. Hearing this, Second Elder Zhao immediately flew into a rage out of humiliation. Master Mo, are you playing with the Zhao family? Repeated over and over again, this is outrageous. Seeing his attitude, Mo Xiaoting thought of what Yun Chuzhou had said, his face darkened. Second Elder Zhao, your words are too biased. When did I, Mo Xiaoting, ever agree to Feng Chao's marriage? Besides, this marriage is to marry two families, not to make enemies. What kind of attitude is this? Master Mo, your second son asked someone to marry his daughter to our Zhao family. That's why we came here to get engaged. Now that you've gone back on your words, your Mo family has gone back on your word. To tell you the truth, our Zhao family is definitely going to marry Mo Feng Chao. Whether you marry her or not, we will see. Second Elder Zhao slapped the coffee table and said viciously. Second Elder Zhao, let me tell you the truth. Mo Feng Chao is not going to marry the Zhao family. If the Zhao family has any tricks up their sleeves, just use them. The Mo family is not to be trifled with. Even if it's not enough, we still have the East Continent's main family. The Zhao family shouldn't go too far. Mo Xiaoting did not want to be outdone. Since they had fallen out, there was nothing to be afraid of. Mo Cheng stood by the side, his head covered in sweat. He hated Yun Chuzhou to death. It was all that wretched girl's fault. If she had married him, there wouldn't have been such a thing. Good. Very good. Mo Xiaoting, let's wait and see. Second Elder Zhao saw that Mo Xiaoting had already said everything he wanted to say, so he did not stay any longer. After leaving behind some harsh words, he turned around and left. Mo Cheng was just about to chase after him when Mo Xiaoting scoffed. He had no choice but to stop in his tracks. Father, Second Elder Zhao doesn't sound like he's angry. What if he really wants to punish the Mo family? Useless thing. This is all your fault. I'm warning you, stay away from the Luo family. If you cause any more trouble for me, I will take back all the shops you own. Just wait for the wind to blow in your direction. Mo Xiaoting wished he could give him a few kicks. What a useless fool. Mo Cheng did not dare to talk back. He was so embarrassed that he did not dare to speak. Mo Cheng returned to his courtyard and Luo Shi immediately came up to him. Husband, how is it? Is it set for the 8th of next month? Set for what? Father has gone back on his word again. He doesn't want to marry that rebellious daughter and has even fallen out with Second Elder Zhao. I'm so angry. What? Why did father go back on his word? Didn't I tell you to keep an eye on her in the study? Luo Shi could not help but turn anxious. This was related to the Luo family's interests. She had made a guarantee in her family. That unfilial daughter wrote some business plan. After father read it, he changed his mind. Alright, alright. I'm already annoyed enough. Stop asking. Mo Cheng said impatiently. Luo Shi did not dare to say anything more, but in her heart, she blamed Mo Cheng for not keeping an eye on him. What a good-for-nothing. The next day, Mo Shouting summoned all the members of the Mo family to the main courtyard. He said he had something important to announce. Everyone was confused. What was the family head going to announce? Of course, Mo Cheng knew what Mo Shouting was going to announce. He gnashed his teeth in anger, but there was nothing he could do. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. After everyone had arrived, Mo Shouting went straight to the point. He immediately said, after a few days of investigation, I have decided to increase the number of candidates for the position of the next family head by 1. From today onwards, Fong Chao will officially become the candidate for the position of the next family head. What? Everyone immediately exploded. Mo Chang said loudly, Father, what did you say? Fong Chao is just a little girl, yet she has the same qualifications as us. What ability does she have to be on the same level as us? That's right, Father. Taking 10,000 steps back, no matter how smart and capable Fong Chao is, she will be married off in the future. How can we let her become a candidate? If you want to choose someone from a different generation, don't you still have a few grandchildren? Mo Peng was also anxious. Mo Peng and Mo Chang's sons also revealed indignant expressions. Grandfather was too biased. Besides, this family business was passed down from generation to generation. Mo Fongchao was never in their turn. Mo Shouting scoffed, why? Just because she was able to sell the defective goods that you brought back for a sky-high price. Just because she was willing to sacrifice her own happiness for the Mo family. Just based on these 2 points, which one of you can do it? Mo Peng and the others were stunned. Father, the plain brocade was sold for a sky-high price because it increased the absorption of spiritual energy. What does this have to do with Fong Chao? A bunch of idiots. Don't you know what exactly came in? Keep your mouths shut. If anyone dares to act recklessly outside, I will kick them out of the Mo family. Mo Ziyading's head buzzed as he looked at the bunch of idiots. These people combined were not as calculative as the grass. They were all idiots. Mo Peng and Mo Chang were still a little confused, but they did not dare to say anything when they saw Mo Xiao and Mo Chang. Instead, they turned their gazes towards the smiling Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou felt that if these people's gazes turned into knives, she would become a sieve. Fong Chao, say a few words. Mo Shouting said to Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou knew that this was Mo Ziyading's assessment of her, so she wasn't afraid. Everyone must think that I don't have the qualifications to be a candidate for the position of family head. I won't say too much. Let's speak with facts. As far as I know, my uncle, my third uncle, and my father each have 3 shops. I will ask my grandfather for a shop. We will use a month's time. I guarantee that the profit of my shop will be more than all 9 of your shops combined. If I can't do it, I will voluntarily give up the qualification to be the candidate. However, if I succeed in this matter, who will still doubt my ability, then, don't blame me for being ruthless. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. In the end, her expression turned serious and her aura became fierce. No one present had seen Yun Chuzhou before. They were all stunned and no one said a word. Good. The Mo family will have this aura. Let's do as Fong Chao says. I will give her a shop for a month and see if she can do it. Mo Shouting agreed. He also wanted to see if Yun Chuzhou was bragging. Mo Peng rolled his eyes. Father, we also want to see how capable Fong Chao's niece is in business. However, you can give her any shop, but you cannot give Jin Xiu Manor to her. Luo Shi whispered something to Mo Cheng. Mo Chang's eyes lit up as he agreed, that's right, Jin Xiu Manor is currently earning a lot of money every day. Father, why don't you let Fong Chao take care of the grocery store? Mo Pang and the others couldn't help but laugh at Mo Chang's misfortune. The grocery store operated a variety of groceries and talismans. The groceries weren't worth much, so it was too difficult to make money. As for talismans, there was no need to mention them. The Zhao family was definitely going to cut off their supply. Without a supply, no matter how powerful they were, they wouldn't be able to use them. Mo Shouting furrowed his brows. Other shops were fine, but the profit of this grocery store was not even comparable to the 9 shops combined. Wasn't this a little too harsh? Grandfather, since father has said it, let's do it. Yun Chujio said nonchalantly. Since you have no objections, then it's settled. I'll leave the grocery store to you to manage, Mo Shouting said. He wanted to see what method Yun Chujio would use. Mo Pang and the others pursed their lips in their hearts. Did this Mo Fongchao really think she was a god? Without the supply of talismans, how could she expect to earn more money than the 9 stores with just a few items? In her dreams. After the crowd dispersed, Yun Chujio followed behind Mo Shouting into the study room. Grandfather, my spiritual power is too low. If I go out, I won't be confident. Just give He Shi to me. Yun Chujio said cheekily. All right. You have a point. I'll give you He Shi. Mo Xiaoting's heart skipped a beat. It was a good idea to give He Shi to her. He could also keep an eye on her and report to him if anything happened. After calling He Shi in, Mo Shouting said, from now on, follow Fong Chao. If anything happens to her, I won't let you off. After thanking Mo Shouting, Yun Chujio led He Shi out of the study room. He Shi, I heard that He Xian has plenty of empty rooms. You can pick any room you want. From now on, you will be at my beck and call. Do you understand? Yun Chujio placed her hands behind her back and put on a pretentious look. Yes. Miss Fong Chao. After He Shi successfully sold the plain brocade, he had made up his mind to follow Yun Chujio. That was why Yun Chujio had asked Mo Shouting for him today. As for Mo Xiaoting's plan to spy on Yun Chujio, it was a good opportunity for Yun Chujio to backstab him. Remove the Fongcao and call me miss. Yun Chujio was annoyed by the word Fongchao. Im not called Mo Fongchao, Im called Yun Chujio. As soon as Yun Chujio heard He Xian, Mo Fongqin said angrily, Sister, are you free? Didn't you dig a hole for yourself? Why did you make a bet? I'm so angry. Third sister, you don't understand this, do you? As you can see, those people are not satisfied. If I don't show them my real ability, they will continue to pick on me. Most importantly, the Zhao family might have some tricks up their sleeves. I have to prove myself in a short period of time. Big sister, you have a point. But you can't pick a grocery store. Without talismans, how are you going to make money? Let me ask you, how are you going to make money? Mo Fongqin was about to explode. What's the rush? Without talismans, we still have those sundries. Besides, we can start a business that makes money. Anyway, it's a grocery store. We can do anything. It's a good place to show off our skills. Yun Chujio said with sparkling eyes. Mo Fongqin glared at her. They have restaurants to eat, clothes to buy, and medicine to buy. What else can you do in a lousy grocery store? Third sister, don't look down on the grocery store. Although things like oil, salt, soy sauce, and vinegar are not eye-catching, they can still make money if done well. Don't worry, if I say it can make money, it will definitely make money. Let's go. There's nothing to do. Follow me to the grocery store to take a look. Although Mo Fangqin did not believe him, she still followed Yun Chujio out of the Mo residence. As a bodyguard, He Shi naturally had to follow her. Previously, he usually followed Mo shouting out, but this was the first time he followed the young miss out, so he felt a little uncomfortable. However, the person he was following was someone who could show off. They had agreed to go to the grocery store, but the moment he left the Mo residence, he became a wild horse. He wandered around and kept buying things. Mo Xiaoting had given her more than 10 million spirit stones anyway, so he had no intention of returning it. How could she ask for it back? No way. Yun Chujio saw a rouge shop in front of them, so she brought Mo Fangqin in while He Shi waited outside. This rouge shop wasn't small, and there were many customers inside. When Yun Chujio and Mo Fangqin were choosing, they heard a sharp voice say, "Hey! Are you that country bumpkin Mo Fangqin? This rouge shop belongs to our Luo family. You are not welcome. Get out." Yun Chujio turned around and saw a girl in red looking at her with disdain. The girl's looks were not bad, but her sharp and mean look was really displeasing. Mo Fangqin's expression changed. "Elder sister, this is mother's niece, the eldest daughter of the Luo family, Luo Yan." Yun Chujio giggled. "Your name is Luo Yan. Why aren't you called Chinyu? If you were really that beautiful, it would be fine, but you look like you're playing around. You actually have the face to have Luo Yan. You're really shameless." Yun Chujio had suffered enough in the past few days. Now that she had finally met someone to vent her anger on, she naturally would not hold back. She could use this opportunity to shed all pretense of cordiality with the Luo family. "If it were not for the old white lotus, Madame Luo, I would have already been married to the pretty boy. Damn it, it was time to settle the score." The onlookers could not help but burst into laughter when they saw Yun Chujio's novel and interesting words. Luo Yan's face flushed red. "You bitch! How dare you mock me? Kneel down and admit your mistake immediately, or I will not forgive you." Yun Chujio pouted. "You're really an interesting person. You scolded me first. If you want to admit your mistake, you should admit it to me. You. Mo Fangqiao, if you don't admit your mistake, you'll tell Aunt and let Aunt punish you severely." Luo Yan said fiercely. Yun Chujio sighed. Sigh. A motherless child is so pitiful. "Everyone, you probably don't know me, right? I am Mo Fangqiao, the Mo Fangqiao that had just returned from the Tianyuan continent. You have all seen it yourself. Luo Yan is so arrogant, so what does she rely on? It's still her aunt, which is also the Luo Shi, my second aunt. Speaking of which, it's truly a bitter tear. Go to Jinchuan City and ask around. Second aunt has been extremely harsh on me, nearly causing me to lose my life. Thankfully, my grandfather and grandmother brought me over. If not, I would have been sold out by the Luo clan. Forget it. If I really offended Luo Yan, second aunt might not torture me. Miss Luo, I'm afraid I was wrong. Please spare me. Mo Fangqiao, you are spouting nonsense. My aunt is not like what you said." Luo Yan immediately felt that things were not looking good when she saw everyone whispering. "Miss Luo, you were the one who said just now that you wanted your aunt to punish me severely. Why are you not admitting to it now? Everyone, tell me, did she say that just now?" Yun Chujio asked the onlookers. The onlookers wished that the matter would blow up. One by one, they stretched their necks and shouted, "Yes, she did say it just now. We all heard it." This was clearly the first time Luo Yan had encountered such a situation. Normally, when two women had an argument, wasn't it supposed to be between the two of them? Why was there still the matter of the bystanders? Besides, why were these people speaking up for the country bumpkins? At this moment, the bystanders' discussions became even louder. I've heard from my brother-in-law's eldest cousin that Miss Fang Keo's life in Jinchuan City is miserable. Is that really the case? Quick, tell me, how miserable is it? I heard that those maidservants dared to insult Miss Fangcao, much less pay for food and clothing. I heard that Miss Fangchao bought a welcome gift for Luo Shi, and she was even scolded to the point of spewing blood. That's nothing. I also heard that the Luo clan sent Miss Fangchao to the forest outside the city to undergo a trial. She's not allowed to return to the Mo residence until she completes her mission. Wasn't Miss Fangchao only at the second level of the Spirit Paragon realm? She was only allowed to kill fey beasts above the 27th level. It was obvious that she was torturing her. Luo Yan's face alternated between green and white as she roared in exasperation, "Shut up. My aunt will not mistreat this country bumpkin." As the saying goes, the eyes of the masses are always sharp. Everyone has witnessed the dirty deeds your aunt has done. Why else do you think Luo Shi was chased back to the Luo family? It's because her actions were too excessive. Mo Fangqin could not help but curse inwardly. Fuck, this country bumpkin was really mean. Regardless of whether it was Luo Yan or Luo Shi, they were unable to defend themselves. Could it be that they could still say that Luo Shi had left in a fit of pique because she was disrespectful to her mother-in-law? Filial piety was the most important thing. If she said that, her reputation would be even more tarnished. Luo Yan nearly fainted from the rebuke. You are spouting nonsense. I'll tear your smelly mouth apart." As Luo Yan said that, she pounced at Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou nimbly dodged as she shouted, "Everyone, watch this." Luo Yan was the one who made the first move. I did not retaliate. The spectators immediately went online as they discussed indignantly, "Miss Fangchao is truly kind and magnanimous. She did not retaliate despite being bullied to such an extent. I reckon Miss Fangchao is afraid that Luo Shi will punish her. How pitiful. Miss Fangcao, you should retaliate. If not, it would be too aggrieved." Mo Fangqin's eyes twitched violently. "Are your eyes just for show? A country bumpkin is kind. A country bumpkin is magnanimous. A country bumpkin is pitiful. This guy is a black heart who eats people without spitting out their bones. Luo Yan, I'm warning you. I've been tolerating you for a long time. If you don't stop, I'll fight back." When Yun Chuzhou saw that the public opinion was almost ready, the two little devil horns on her head began to show. Luo Yan didn't know that this guy was pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. She thought that she was bluffing and said arrogantly, "I'm going to teach you a lesson today. You're a country bumpkin who talks nonsense." Before Luo Yan finished her words, Yun Chuzhou flashed behind her and kicked her butt. Luo Yan was kicked directly and flew out of the rouge shop. Luo Yan was not bad. She adjusted herself in the air and did not fall down. She staggered a few steps and stood still. However, being kicked out by Yun Chuzhou in public, one could imagine the shame and anger in her heart. Country bumpkin. Originally, I did not use my spiritual power on account of my aunt. Since you are courting death, then I will fulfill your wish. Luo Yan said and released a spiritual power python towards Yun Chuzhou. When the surrounding crowd saw Luo Yan release her spirit beast, they quickly dispersed. If they were accidentally injured, it would not be worth the loss. Miss Fangchao is only at the second level of the Spirit Paragon realm, while Luo Yan is at the 5th level of the Spirit Paragon realm. I reckon Miss Fangchao will suffer. Miss Fangchao's movement technique is quite fast, but with such a huge difference in spirit energy, she will most likely suffer. TSK, I reckon that Miss Fangchao has been beaten up. That Luo Shi won't help prevent her anger. She might even punish her. Just as everyone was discussing, they heard Yun Chuzhou shout, "Hey Shi, Fangqin, what are you all standing around for? Are you all going to watch me get beaten up? Come over here. Let's gang up on this little bitch. The onlookers were dumbfounded and at a loss. Damn it, the only one who could say that she was bullying the little bitch so righteously was probably this Miss Fong Chao. Mo Fongqin was still better. After being stunned for a moment, she came over to help. He Shi, on the other hand, was stunned. Miss, you want me to help you beat up the Luo families, miss? Do you think this is a good idea? He Shi, what are you still standing there for? Hurry up. If you don't come over now, your miss will be bullied to death. Yun Chujio shouted loudly. The corner of He Shi's eyes twitched violently. That Luo Yan was about to lose her life, all right. Although He Shi was complaining in his heart, he did not dare to disobey and stepped forward to join the battle. Every time Luo Yan came out, she would bring a maid with her. However, she did not bring anyone with her today. This time, she was really unlucky. In the blink of an eye, she was pressed to the ground by Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio stretched out her hand and slapped her several times. Luo Yan. I will turn you into a dead fish right now. The manager and the staff of the rouge shop initially thought that Luo Yan would win for sure, so they did not come over to help. When they saw that the situation was not right, Luo Yan was already pinned to the ground. Stop. Let go of our young miss quickly. The manager of the rouge shop rushed over with 2 staff. He Shi, can you beat these 3 down by yourself? Yun Chujio said as she beat up Luo Yan. He Shi was about to cry. Although it was not a problem for him to beat up these 3 small figures, but dear ancestor, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to pierce through the heavens? What are you standing there for? Beat him up. Her aunt usually bullied me, and now she and the servants of the Luo family are also bullying me. This is simply too much. Beat him up. Anyway, I have these righteous and kind people to testify for me. Yun Chujio said as she cupped her hands towards the onlookers. The onlookers originally thought that they could only watch a literary show, but now it turned into a full-on martial arts show. Naturally, they were happy that the more lively the show, the better. One after another, they shouted, Miss Fong Chao is right. The Luo family is too much of a bully. Beat him up. He Shi had no choice but to go up and beat up the 3 little dregs. He Shi felt that his future as a bodyguard would be colorful. With such a master, he would not be able to stop. The manager of the rouge shop and the 2 waiters did not have high spiritual power. Not long after, they were beaten down by He Shi. On the other side, Luo Yan's face was swollen like a pig's head. She was screaming so loudly that it was not human. Mo Fong Chao. Bitch. I will not forgive you. Just you wait, I will kill you. Yun Chujio immediately took out a large kitchen knife and rubbed it against Luo Yan's face. Little bastard, if you continue to talk nonsense, I will draw a little bastard on your face. You dare. If you hurt me, our Luo family will not forgive you. Luo Yan's voice trembled as she said. You can try. If you scold me one more time, see if I dare to make a move, Yun Chujio said with a smile. However, in Luo Yan's eyes, the smiling Yun Chujio was a devil. She didn't dare to gamble. Although one's appearance could be restored after eating pills, which woman was willing to take such a risk? Luo Yan saw that the shopkeeper and the shop assistant of the rouge shop had also been beaten to the ground, so she cowered. Ink fragrant grass, you're ruthless. I admit defeat today. Luo Yan cursed in her heart. Bitch, just you wait, this matter isn't over. Admit defeat? You said it verbally and it's over. You caused me a huge mental injury, so you have to compensate me with spirit stones. Otherwise, you'll have to take action. Don't worry, my drawing skills are very good. I will make the little bastard's drawing vivid and lifelike for you. Luo Yan almost fainted from anger. No matter how good the drawing was, he was still a bastard. No matter how good the drawing was, it could not be drawn on her face. How many spirit stones do you want? Luo Yan gnashed her teeth in hatred. The three of us, 5 million each. But we are also considered relatives. I will give you a 99 to 81 discount. You just have to give me 10 million. How about it? Not much, right? Yun Chujio said with a smile. Luo Yan choked and fainted from anger. Yun Chujio was stunned. She fainted just like that. Her mental endurance was really not good. Shopkeeper, when your eldest miss heard that I asked for so little, she was so touched that she fainted. Since that's the case, you can pay. If you don't pay, I will draw a little bastard. I believe that your eldest miss will be quite pleasantly surprised when she wakes up. Yun Chujio held a large kitchen knife and gestured at Luo Yan's face as she said. The manager of the rouge shop was about to cry. Pleasantly surprised? If the eldest miss wakes up and finds that her face has been disfigured, she would probably have to kill them. Forget it. Just give her the spirit stones and let the masters go to the MO residence to settle the score. Coincidentally, Luo Yan was here today to collect the profits of the rouge shop during this period of time, so the manager of the rouge shop really did have 10 million spirit stones in his hands. After Yun Chujio received the spirit stones, she cupped her hands and said to everyone, thank you for your kind words. If it weren't for your support, if I didn't feel the power of justice, I wouldn't have dared to fight back. Thank you very much. Hey sure, help me give everyone 10 spirit stones each. I'll treat everyone to tea. Hey sure was still in a daze, and the young miss had extorted 10 million. Wasn't this money too fast? However, wasn't she afraid that the Luo family would come after her? The moment He Shi heard Yun Chujio's words, he felt that his brain was even less capable. Pay money. Was the young miss crazy? There were several hundred people surrounding them. Each of them had 10 spirit stones, which meant that they had several thousand spirit stones. Wasn't this all going down the drain? However, he still obediently followed Yun Chujio's instructions and gave the bystanders spirit stones. Yes, he paid out of his own pocket. The melon eaters felt that they were really too lucky today. Not only did they get to watch a good show for free, but they even got spirit stones. Heavens, such a good thing could not be found even if one tried to look for it. The melon eaters immediately shouted, Miss Fangchao, you are really generous. Miss Fangcao, don't worry. We have all seen who is right and who is wrong. The Luo family is taking advantage of their power to bully others. They are really too much. That's right. This is completely self-defense. There's nothing wrong with it. Luo Yan had just woken up when she heard the words of the onlookers. She was so angry that she fainted once again. Only then did He Shi realize that the young miss was using the spiritual stones as hush money. No, to be precise, it was to buy people's hearts. No wonder Luo Yan was so angry that she fainted again. The young miss was using the Luo family's money to slap the Luo family's face. It was simply too despicable. At this time, Luo Yan woke up again and said through gritted teeth, Mo Fangchao, can you let go of me now? I'm sorry, I forgot that I was still riding on you. Yun Chujio stood up from Luo Yan's body. It was unknown whether it was intentional or not, but she stepped on Luo Yan's right hand. Luo Yan grimaced in pain, in her heart, she hated Yun Chujio to death. Yun Chujio greeted the onlookers and left with Mo Fangqin and He Shi. After Luo Yan stood up, she covered her face and ran away. The onlookers' eyes were full of gossip. Luo Yan will complain when she goes back. The Luo family will not let it go easily. That's for sure. I think she will bring some people to the MO residence to demand an explanation. There will be a good show to watch. Although the Mo family is powerful, the Luo family is very powerful recently. This show will be exciting. I have to eat something quickly. I will wait in front of the Mo residence. Yes, I will go too. On the other side, Yun Chujio was in a great mood. Third sister, did you see that? You have to come out frequently. In just a short while, we have earned 10 million spirit stones. This is a good deal. Mo Fenkin's eyes twitched violently. This is not a deal, this is a scam. Third sister, take this 1 million. Don't worry, follow me and I will definitely make you a rich woman in the future. Hey sure, you did well just now. Take these 200,000 spirit stones. Of them, they'll give you 100,000 as a reward. The other 100,000 will be used in the future. Mo Fangqin and He Shi were stunned by Yun Chujia's generosity. Damn, this was too generous. This was too terrifying. He Shi's monthly salary was only 500,000. It was obvious how shocked they were. SAS, isn't that too much? Mo Fangqin was stunned for a long while. All these years, her monthly salary had been deducted by the Luo clan, so she only received 100,000 spirit stones a year. Suddenly, she received an additional 1,000,000 spirit stones. It felt like a dream. This is just a small amount of money. It's not worth mentioning. I'm so poor that I only have money left. Yun Chujio said smugly. Big sister, although it's good to earn money, the Luo family will not let it go. What if grandfather punishes you? Don't worry, since I dare to beat her, I have a foolproof plan. Let's go to the grocery store. Yun Chujio said with a smile, not caring at all. Mo Fangqin and He Shi could only follow her to the grocery store. The grocery store was not too far from the Rouge store, so the three of them soon arrived at the grocery store. The name of the grocery store was also very easy to remember. It was MOJIS grocery store. Yun Chujio walked in with big strides. The grocery store was quite big, but half of the area inside was where talismans were sold. The remaining miscellaneous items took up half of the space. It was likely that business was not very good, and there was not a single customer inside. The shopkeeper of the grocery store was also a fat old man. When he saw Yun Chujio and the other two enter, he came over to welcome them with his belly puffed out. Although he didn't know Yun Chujio and the other two, he did know He Shi's bodyguard. Yun Chujio took out the token Mo Xiaoting had given her. Shopkeeper, grandfather has handed this grocery store to me to manage. Can you give me a basic introduction? After the fat shopkeeper took the token and checked its authenticity, he smiled like a flower. Miss Fangqiao, Miss Fangqin, please take a seat. Yuan Bao, serve the tea. After Yun Chujio and Mo Fangqin sat down, a waiter served the tea. The fat shopkeeper said with a bitter face, Miss Fangcao, as you can see, our grocery store's business is really poor. It turns out that the sale of talismans is not bad. However, the price of the talismans at Luo's grocery store has been reduced recently. Each of them is 10% cheaper than ours. Therefore, this business is becoming more and more difficult. Yun Chujio nodded. How's the grocery business? The sales volume of the grocery store has always been average. Moreover, there are many people who bought the talismans at the opposite side and bought the groceries at the same time. Therefore, our Mo's grocery store is deserted. By the way, what's your surname? How should I address you? Yun Chujio was already prepared for this. If it was a profitable store, Mo Cheng wouldn't have mentioned it. My surname is Pei. Yun Chujio spat out the tea in her mouth. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm really surprised. Shopkeeper Pei had already expected this. If he hadn't been with the Mo family for so many years, Mo Xiaoting would not have made him a shopkeeper. To a businessman, this surname was indeed a little taboo. Shopkeeper Pei could not help but feel embarrassed. He thought to himself, could it be that this Miss Fong Chao was also afraid of this? Could it be that she would not let him continue to be the shopkeeper of the grocery store? Shopkeeper Pi, bring the ledger over for me to take a look. Shopkeeper Pei felt even more nervous when he saw Yun Chujio asking for the ledger. He handed the ledger to Yun Chujio with a trembling hand. Yun Chujio could not help but frown. Could it be that there was something wrong with the ledger? Yun Chujio looked through it once and did not find anything unusual. She could not help but ask in puzzlement, Shopkeeper Pei, do you have something you want to tell me? Why are you trembling? Shopkeeper Pei wiped the sweat from his forehead. Miss Fong Chao, I know that my surname is a little taboo when doing business, but I have been working diligently all these years. I have not done anything wrong to the family head. Now that business is bleak, I'm also very anxious, but my parents gave me this surname. There's nothing I can do about it. Yun Chujio finally came to a realization, she couldn't help but straighten her face. Shopkeeper Pei, I'm really sorry. I lost my composure just now. Whether your surname is Pei or Zheng, this has nothing to do with business. I won't hold it against you because of this. As long as you listen to my arrangements, this grocery store will definitely earn a lot of money every day. Trust me. Yun Chujio's simple words touched Shopkeeper Pei so much that tears welled up in his eyes. He was on the verge of howling. Yun Chujio and Mo Fongqin looked at each other. Damn it, is this fat old man crazy? Why was he crying as he spoke? Miss Fong Chao, based on your words, I, Pei Yongfa, will listen to you from now on. You don't know that the shopkeeper of the Luo family, whose surname is Zheng, has always mocked me. The other shopkeepers of the Mo family have also mocked me. In addition, the business of this grocery store is not good. I feel really aggrieved. Shopkeeper Pei said with tears streaming down his face. Yun Chujio could not help but want to laugh. It was such a big deal, yet this fat old man was still crying. What did a good business have to do with a surname? There was really no place to lie. Shopkeeper Pei, don't be sad. I promised grandfather that the monthly income of our grocery store would be more than the combined income of uncle and the other 9 stores. Do you have any good ideas? When Shopkeeper Pei heard Yun Chujio's words, he sat down on the ground and howled even louder. Shopkeeper Pei thought to himself, looks like the master really doesn't want to use me anymore. Otherwise, why would he bring up such an impossible bet? Not to mention that this grocery store wasn't profitable to begin with, even the earnings of the Jinshu Manor couldn't compare to the 9 stores. Shopkeeper Pei forced himself to stop crying. Miss Fong Chao, if you want to earn more money in a short period of time, then you can only lower the selling price of the talismans. With a small profit, you can sell more. Other than that, there's no other good way. Shopkeeper Pei, you might not know this, but the Zhao family will cut off our supply of talismans soon. So after we sell all the talismans in stock, our grocery store will have no more talismans to sell. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Shopkeeper Pei howled again. He was even sadder than before. It's over, it's really over this time. This grocery store was going to close down soon. Yun Chujio ignored him and walked to the counter. She looked around and found that the sundries here were quite complete, but the quantity was a little small. Shopkeeper Pei howled for a while, but when he saw that no one was paying attention to him, he could only get up embarrassedly. With a sad face, he said, Miss Fong Chao, our store only has about 1,000 talismans in stock. Even if we sell them all, it will only be higher than the profit of one store. Yun Chujio nodded and asked, how much liquid capital do you have in your account? I submit the profit every 2 months, so I still have about 5 million in my hand. Miss Fangcao, are you planning to use this money to buy talismans? I'm not buying talismans. I'll lend you another 10 million, and you can take this 15 million to buy groceries. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Shopkeeper Pei's eyes widened. He felt that Yun Chujio was most likely crazy. Was she crazy? Every time, the store would only buy 2 million worth of groceries. The groceries were all cheap and trivial items. Why would she buy so many groceries? Who was going to buy them? Shopkeeper Pi, if you want to stand tall in front of that Cheng, just listen to me. I promise I'll make you a fortune. Shopkeeper Pei gritted his teeth and stomped his feet. All right. I will listen to you. How long will it take for the goods to enter? No more than 8 days. All right, you can handle this matter yourself. When you return, look for me at the MO residence. Yes. After Yun Chujio gave her instructions, she stretched lazily. Third sister, let's go. I will bring you to a restaurant for a meal. Mo Fangqin thought to herself, a country bumpkin really has a big heart. Putting aside the matter of the grocery store, the Luo family might have already gone to the residence to demand an explanation, yet she still had the mood to go to a restaurant. However, after interacting with her for the past few days, Mo Fangqin knew that Yun Chujio was a man of her word. No one could stop her from doing what she had decided to do, therefore, she could only follow her to the largest restaurant in Fengli City, Drunken Heaven Restaurant. He Shi had intended to wait downstairs, but Yun Chujio glared at him and had no choice but to follow him to the private room on the second floor. Yun Chujio ordered a large table of delicacies, but He Shi refused to eat with Yun Chujio and the others no matter what. Yun Chujio simply asked the waiter to make a table for He Shi. The three of them had just eaten when the door of the private room was pushed open. Mo Fangqiao, you bitch. Hurry up and return the spirit stones that you extorted from me. Luo Yan said angrily. Behind her were 2 maids and 8 guards. If I return the spirit stones to you, our debt will be written off. Yun Chujio glanced at Luo Yan. This fellow actually did not go to the MO residence to make trouble, but directly came to stop me. Humph. Dream on. After you return the spirit stone to me, kneel in front of me and kowtow to admit your mistake, and let my maid beat your face until it is swollen, I will let you go. Although Luo Yan's face was smeared with the swelling ointment, it was still burning with pain. She hated Yun Chujio deeply in her heart. What if I don't agree? Yun Chujio curled the corner of her mouth and said indifferently. Don't agree. If you don't agree, I will beat you until you agree. Not only that, I also want your clothes. Let everyone see you, bitch, naked. Luo Yan looked at Yun Chujio with jealousy. This bitch, man, didn't deserve to have such good looks at all. TSK, I didn't expect that your Luo family members have the habit of taking off people's clothes. But, Luo Yan, did you choose the wrong person? If you want to strip, you should strip a man. Why don't we have a discussion? Look at my bodyguard, he is very handsome and has a good figure. You can strip him. Yun Chujio pointed at He Shi who was standing next to her. He Shi almost fainted from anger. Miss, you can't play like this. Bodyguards also have dignity. Men also have chastity. Luo Yan was stunned at first, then she said angrily, bitch, cut the crap. I'm asking you, do you agree or not? Luo Yan, are you only bringing these few people? Yun Chujio looked at the people that Luo Yan brought. 2 of the maids were at the 5th level of the spiritual venerable realm, and she couldn't see through the cultivation of the 8 bodyguards. Humph, it's enough for us to deal with the 3 of you. Are you going to agree or not? How about this? This is the territory of the restaurant. Let's go down and talk. Buddy, come here and help me pack these dishes. I want to take them back to eat. Yun Chujio shouted while pulling her neck. Everyone in the room was dumbfounded. What kind of time was it, and this person still wanted to pack the dishes. Should they praise you for being diligent and frugal, or should they say that you're heartless? The waiter of the restaurant walked in with trepidation and helped to pack the food for Yunchujio. Alright, the food is also packed. Let's go out and talk. Yunchujio walked in front with swagger, showing no signs of fear at all. If it were any other place, Luo Yen would have directly taken action. However, Drunken Cloud Restaurant was neither the property of the Mo family nor the Luo family. It was said that the owner had a very deep background, so she agreed to Yunchujia's suggestion. Everyone rushed to the main street. Luo Yen said fiercely, "Mo Fangchao, it's out now. Do you admit your mistake or not?" "Admit my mistake. I'm not wrong, what mistake is there to admit? Luo Yen, I was lenient with you this morning. If you know what's good for you, then get lost quickly. Otherwise, you won't be able to settle it with 10 million spiritual stones." This guy was delighted. He had just lent shopkeeper pay 10 million spiritual stones, and this guy came to deliver the money. He really came at the right time. Mo Fangqin and He Shi were about to cry. Although He Shi's spiritual power was the highest, there were 11 people and only 3 of them. It was difficult for 2 fists to fight against 4 hands. Wasn't he looking for trouble? "Miss, you and Miss Fangqin run quickly later. I'll hold them off," He Shi said to Yunchujio in a low voice. "Tell me first, what is the spiritual power level of those 8 guards?" Yunchujio asked secretly. "8th level of the spiritual venerable realm." He Shi gritted his teeth. "You don't even know their strength, yet you dare to challenge them. You're really good." "Oh. So it's the 8th layer of the spiritual venerable realm. I thought it was a high level of spiritual power. Don't be afraid, I have something good to deal with them." Yunchujio said as she took out a thick stack of talismans from her storage ring and handed it to He Shi. Then, she took out another stack and handed it to Mo Fangqin. He Shi looked down and stumbled. This was a thick stack of high-grade burst talismans, roughly 50 to 60 of them. "Miss, where did you get so many burst talismans? Did you steal all the stock from the grocery store?" "I looted them from the Tianyuan continent, I still have them here. Take them and play with them." Yunchujio said carelessly, these high-grade burst talismans were originally meant to be sold in the Thunder sect, but now, they could be used to torture dregs. Super-grade burst talismans were too eye-catching, high-grade ones were enough. Yunchujio also took out a stack of talismans and waved them at Luo Yen. "Little bitch, did you see that? Do you recognize what this is? All of you kneel down, or I'll blow you up." Luo Yen couldn't help but be stunned when she saw so many high-grade burst talismans. However, she quickly sneered and said, "Bitch, you took this from your Mo family's grocery store, right? Do you think that you can scare me? We are so close. If you use the talisman, you will also be injured by the explosion. I don't believe that you dare to use it. I advise you to quickly admit your mistake. Otherwise, I will send you to the furnace, cauldron, and hall. I think trash like you are only fit to go there. What you said makes sense. Why didn't I think of this? Thank you for your reminder. Then, look at what I have in my hand." Yunchujia's eyes deepened. This little bitch is really ruthless. As Yunchujio said this, she threw a big sack at Luo Yen, and then suddenly jumped back. He Shi and Mo Fangqin also jumped back. Boom! After the sack was broken, the chili powder inside flew out. Luo Yen and the guards were choked to tears. Even some onlookers were choked to tears. Damn! This Miss Fang Chao is too mean. I've never heard of anyone using chili noodles as a hidden weapon. Yunchujio did not stay idle. She threw a few burst talismans at the Luo family members. She did not throw too many. If someone were to die, it would be hard to explain. It would be fine as long as they were half dead. Luo Yan and her subordinates would be in deep trouble. They were choked to the point that they could not open their eyes. How could they avoid it? Fortunately, their spiritual power was profound. Although they were screaming and screaming from the explosion, they didn't lose their lives. Hey, sure, you should have no problem dealing with them now, right? Imprison them all. Damn it, how dare you delay my meal? You're really courting death. Yun Chujio said angrily with her hands on her hips. He sure felt that his worldview had been completely refreshed. Damn it, so the chili flower's lethality was actually so great. Damn it, our strange young lady actually placed such importance on her meal. He sure leaped forward and easily subdued the Luo family members who were in a terrible state. Seeing that everyone was restrained, Yun Chujio placed her hands behind her back. She walked in front of Luo Yan with a sinister smile on her face. TSK, little bitch, you're the one who delivered yourself to my door. Don't blame me. Come on, as usual, 10 million spirit stones. Otherwise, I'll have Heisher strip you of your clothes. Bitch. How dare you? If you dare to humiliate me, our Luo family will not forgive you. Luo Yan was both embarrassed and angry. She was both angry and resentful. Never in her wildest dreams did she expect to bring 10 people here and be defeated by a sack of chili noodles. Yo, there's really nothing I wouldn't dare to do. Those from the south and those from the north, come and take a look. The young miss of the Luo family will be stripped of her clothes soon. Yun Chujio took out a large copper basin from her storage ring. She knocked on it while shouting. Cheap person, you shut up for me. Luo Yan wants to be mad. Shut up. I will send you to the furnace, the tripod, and the hall that you yearn for after I have shown you enough light for everyone to enjoy. There are not many kind people like me. The Black Lotus skill was lit up again. It feels so good. Luo Yan was in a terrible state now. Her face was swollen like a pig's head, and her body was covered in blood from the explosion. She roared hysterically, bitch. Bitch. If you dare to do that, I won't forgive you even if I become a ghost. I'm not afraid of threats. Cut the crap. Do you want money or face? If you don't give me money, they'll start stripping you right now. I believe everyone is waiting to see. Yun Chujio pretended to strip Luo Yan's clothes. Seeing that Yun Chujio was serious, Luo Yan was so angry that her eyes were red. She shouted, give it. I'll give it, why didn't you agree earlier? Seriously, you wasted a few burst talismans and a big bag of chili noodles. Isn't it expensive? Yun Chujio said with a regretful look. The journey of the masses was like this: poor Miss Fong Chao, kind Miss Fong Chao, generous Miss Fong Chao, fuck. So it was a cruel little devil. Luo Yan didn't have that many spiritual stones on her, so she scraped together enough to give 10 million spiritual stones to Yun Chujio. Now, you can leave. Luo Yan, I'm warning you. If you provoke me again, I'll have to raise the price. 10 million is too cheap. Yun Chujio said leisurely. Luo Yan was so angry that she was trembling. Mo Fong Chao, you're ruthless enough. Let's wait and see. Wait and see. Let's wait and see. I'm not afraid of you. Yun Chujio hugged her shoulders and shook her legs. She was as arrogant as she could be. He sure only had one thought in his mind. I probably can't protect this ancestor alone. After beating up the Luo family's eldest daughter twice in half a day, this ancestor's ability to attract hatred was too strong. Luo Yan glared at Yun Chujio viciously, and left with her subordinate staggering. Everyone, I'm sorry for causing you to suffer an unexpected calamity. Hey sure, give out 10 spirit stones each. Express my apologies. Yun Chujio waved her small hand, and He Shi began to give out the money. Miss Fong Chao, you're too polite. You're scattering the chili noodles to protect yourself. We all understand. That's right. Luo Yen has brought so many people. If you don't fight back, wouldn't you be in trouble? So the pepper is really good. Miss Fangcao, don't worry. If anyone asks, we will definitely help you testify. It is the Luo family that has pushed us too far. It is not your fault. Yun Chujio felt that the people in the immortal Yuan continent were too sensible. They didn't even need to teach them how to speak. They were really understanding. Mo Fangqin was already used to Yun Chujio's method of controlling public opinion, so she could still be considered calm. He Shi was different. Although he had just experienced a wave, he was still somewhat dumbstruck. These people didn't even want their integrity because of 10 spirit stones. If they didn't know, they would have thought that these people were all from the Mo residence. This was too biased towards Miss Fong Chao. What He Shi did not know was that these onlookers also had their own little tricks up their sleeves. Damn, this Miss Fong Chao was really generous. For the sake of a small sum of money, she had to speak up for her. Moreover, perhaps there would be plenty of opportunities like this in the future. There was no harm in brushing one's face first. Moreover, this Miss Fong Chao was a vicious and merciless person. Even the eldest daughter of the Luo family dared to beat her up. What did she not dare to do? So it's better not to offend her. After He Shi had given out the spirit stones, Yun Chujio rolled her eyes and said, "Let's go back to the grocery store. I have something to tell shopkeeper Pi." He Shi and Mo Fangqin were too lazy to ask. Anyway, there was no point in asking. They followed her back to the grocery store. Shopkeeper Pei saw that Yun Chujio and the other two had returned. He could not help but feel puzzled. Miss Fangcao, what other instructions do you have? I'll give you another 5 million. You can buy me chili noodles with this money. If you really don't have it, the chili noodles will do. Yun Chujio passed another 5 million spirit stones to shopkeeper Pi. The first thought that flashed through shopkeeper Pei's mind was that Miss Fangchao was really rich. The second thought was, buy chili noodles with this money? Was this Miss Fangcao's brain completely damaged? How many chili noodles would she need to buy for 5 million high-grade spirit stones? Even the people of Fengli City wouldn't be able to finish it in 10 years. Miss Fangcao, is it true that all of them are going to buy chili noodles? Of course it's true. Quickly send someone to buy it, or else they might not be able to buy it. Also, don't sell the chili noodles in the shop for the time being. Just say that they are out of stock. Do you understand? Yun Chujio felt that after the earth-shattering battle just now, there would definitely be many people who wanted to buy some chili noodles to protect themselves, because the cost of this thing was much lower than the cost of poison. Shopkeeper Pei's face was filled with confusion and confusion. Fortunately, he was obedient and immediately arranged for people to purchase the treasures. Yes, the chili noodles. After Yun Chujio finished instructing shopkeeper Pei, she brought Mo Fangqin and He Shi back to the Mo residence. The Mo residence was quiet. It was obvious that the people from the Luo residence had not come looking for them. Mo Fangqin and He Shi were worried. On the other hand, the culprit looked relaxed and at ease. Let's go. Follow me to see my own grandfather. Mo Fangqin thought to herself. This fellow was probably going to admit his mistake. It was better this way. She wanted her grandfather to be mentally prepared and the punishment would be lighter. The three of them quickly arrived outside Mo Ziyading's study room. After the guards passed the message, Yun Chujio walked in with Mo Fangqin while He Shi waited outside. Grandfather! Grandfather! I've made a huge contribution today. Yun Chujio yelled excitedly. Mo Fangqin stumbled and almost fell to the ground. Country bumpkin, you really dare to say that? You've made a huge contribution. I think you've created a huge mess. Mo Xiaoting had no idea that his ancestor had gotten into trouble after being away for half a day. He thought something good was going to happen, so he asked with a smile, "What did you make? Did you have a good idea to make money after seeing the grocery store?" "The grocery store is just a small matter. I've helped you accomplish another big matter," Yun Chujio said mysteriously. Mo Xiaoting was a little surprised. "Big matter? What big matter?" "Grandfather, apart from wanting the Mo family to return to the eastern continent, what is the most important thing you want to do? Do you want to destroy the Luo family?" Yun Chujio asked with a smile. "Nonsense. Why would I want to destroy the Luo family when I have nothing to do?" Mo Xiaoting's expression was a little unnatural. Although these were his heartfelt words, the Mo family and the Luo family were in-laws, so he had to put up with it. "Grandfather, don't try to hide it in front of me. The Luo family was nothing. Previously, they had tricked first uncle and third uncle, so there was no guarantee that they would be happy behind the scenes. Let me tell you, my father is marrying me off to the Zhao family. Perhaps it was also the Luo family's bad idea. They don't want the Mo family to be happy. Besides, let me say something irresponsible. The Luo family has risen so quickly. Perhaps, second aunt was the one who introduced the Mo family's guests to the Luo family behind my father's back." Mo Fangqin's face froze when she heard Yun Chujio's words. "Irresponsible words? Since you know it's irresponsible, how dare you say it? If there was one thing that country bumpkins were good at, it was framing. If this blame was really placed on Luo Shi, the Mo family would not have a good life." Although Mo Xiaoting felt that Yun Chujio was exaggerating, he did not think it was impossible. After all, the Luo family had risen too quickly. Moreover, the Luo family had indeed tricked Mo Peng and Mo Chang. They even wanted a piece of Yun Chujio's wedding. How despicable. "Grandfather, also, when I went to the grocery store, shopkeeper Pei told me that the Luo family's grocery store had cut the talisman price by 10% and robbed us of our business." Think about it, what right did he have to cut the price by 10%? Doesn't he want to make money? This means that the talismans the Zhao family gave him are definitely cheaper than the ones they gave us. Plus, the Luo family clearly wants to destroy our grocery store. Most importantly, the reason why my father asked me to take over the grocery store in the morning was because second aunt gave him an idea. Think about it, the things that happened here are really scary. Yun Chujio stopped talking. After all, the old fox's imagination was very strong, so she decided to let him think about it. As expected, Mo Xiaoting was reminded of the Zhao family. It seemed, the Luo family had not only benefited from Fang Chao's marriage, they had also benefited from it. They had gone too far. Yun Chujio glanced at Mo Xiaoting's ashen face and silently gave herself a thumbs up. Now that the preparations were complete, it was time to get down to business. "Grandfather, although I'm not as wise and thorough as you are, I feel that the Luo family is an ungrateful wretch. We can't let them stay. If we let them stay, they might one day bite us back. Besides, my uncle and the others are all kind-hearted people. Who knows, they might once again trick us. So, today, I've disregarded my safety and done something big." Yun Chujio straightened her back and said righteously. Seeing how serious Yun Chujio sounded, Mo Xiaoting asked in confusion, "You did something big? What big thing? Did you go to the Luo family's shop and cause trouble?" "Grandfather, am I such a brainless person? If I go to someone's shop and cause trouble, won't I be caught?" Yun Chujio shook her head in denial. "Then, what big thing did you do?" Mo Xiaoting let out a sigh of relief. Although the Luo family was despicable, it was best to suppress their business. If they were to cause trouble on the surface, it wouldn't make sense. I didn't do anything. I just beat up Luo Yen twice and she voluntarily gave me 20 million high-grade spirit stones. That's all, Yun Chujio said with a smile. Oh, you beat up Luo Yen? What? You beat up the young miss of the Luo family? Mo Xiaoting couldn't believe his ears. This little girl beat up the young miss of the Luo family after leaving the house for half a day. Not only did she beat up Luo Yen once, but she actually beat her up twice. Yes, I beat up Luo Yen twice. Her face is swollen like a pig's head. Plus, I beat up the 10 people she brought with her until they cried for their parents. Grandfather, don't you think I did the right thing? Yun Chujio said proudly. Mo Xiaoting immediately flew into a rage. He slammed his hand on the table. Nonsense. If you beat up Luo Yen, wouldn't the Luo family be in the right? They will definitely come looking for an explanation. If they ask me to hand you over, what do you think I will do then? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.